What if three very different nuts could do more than just curb your cravings? What if they could actually lower your blood sugar, melt away dangerous belly fat, repair damaged nerves, and even protect your heart, kidneys, skin, and hormones, all without a single glucose spike? In this video, we're revealing three of the most powerful nuts for diabetics. One that quietly outperforms popular tree nuts in antioxidant strength. One so rich in rare fats, it's been linked to reversing insulin resistance, and one you're probably eating already, but not in the way that unlocks its full healing potential. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll also get exclusive helpful tips and a complete buying guide for diabetics. So you'll know exactly which nuts to eat, how much, and how to use them to transform your diabetes from the inside out, naturally. First on list, baru nuts. Baru nuts are one of the most powerful diabetic-friendly foods you've probably never heard of. Native to the savannas of Brazil, these wild harvested seeds come from the baruzeiro tree and are gaining serious attention in the nutrition world, not because they're trendy, but because of what they do inside your body. Despite being called nuts, they're technically seeds of a legume, but in the body they behave like medicinal food, supporting blood sugar regulation, reducing inflammation, enhancing insulin function, and protecting your nerves, heart, kidneys, and even your skin. Their glycemic index is estimated to be under 20, with a glycemic load close to zero, meaning they have virtually no impact on post-meal blood glucose, even in insulin-resistant individuals. Let's break down the numbers. Just 1 ounce, around 20 to 22 nuts, of dry roasted baru nuts delivers about 170 calories, 12 grams of healthy fats, with a near-perfect balance of monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, 5 grams of plant-based protein, and 4 grams of fiber. This trio, protein, fiber, and healthy fat, is essential for keeping blood sugar steady after meals and preventing glucose crashes. That same ounce provides over 23% of your daily value of magnesium, 15% of zinc, 20% of phosphorus, 10% of potassium, and small yet impactful amounts of iron, copper, calcium, and vitamin E in the form of potent tocopherols. These minerals work in synergy to support the very systems diabetes weakens, especially insulin production, nerve health, cardiovascular function, and immunity. Baru nuts are especially valuable for reversing some of the deeper complications of diabetes. Magnesium, which they offer in abundance, plays a direct role in insulin signaling, glucose uptake into muscle cells, and the functioning of enzymes that regulate blood sugar. In diabetics, magnesium deficiency is common and often overlooked. Research shows that boosting magnesium intake through whole foods like baru nuts can improve insulin sensitivity by up to 28%, especially in individuals with poorly controlled glucose. This can mean fewer spikes, less strain on the pancreas, and a gradual improvement in A1C. The fiber content adds a second layer of protection by slowing digestion, reducing the rate at which carbs turn into glucose, and improving gut health, which is closely tied to blood sugar control and immune regulation. Did you know? Baru nuts contain higher antioxidant activity than cashews, Brazil nuts, and even walnuts in some tests. Despite being one of the rarest nuts in the U.S., they've been called the peanut of the future in Brazil due to their environmental sustainability and nutrient density. Baru nuts also offer strong protection against diabetic complications. Zinc helps repair damaged tissue, boosts wound healing, and strengthens immune cells that are often suppressed in high glucose environments. It's also a cofactor in over 100 enzymes, including those involved in testosterone production and sperm quality, making it critical for diabetic men struggling with hormonal or fertility issues. Vitamin E tocopherols act as antioxidant warriors, protecting blood vessels from glycation damage, the sticky, sugar-related wear and tear that can lead to diabetic neuropathy, kidney decline, and retinopathy. Polyphenols in baru nuts, especially catechins and gallic acid, reduce oxidative stress and suppress inflammation markers like TNF-alpha and IL-6, offering simultaneous protection to your heart, nerves, and kidneys. Here is a myth. If it's not a true tree nut, it's not truly healing. This is completely false. Baru nuts, while technically seeds, outperform many traditional tree nuts, including almonds and peanuts, in antioxidant capacity. In fact, tests comparing antioxidant activity ranked baru nuts higher than Brazil nuts, cashews, and even walnuts in several key measurements. Their ability to lower free radical damage, balance cholesterol ratios, and improve insulin response makes them a top-tier food for diabetics. Here is something unique. Unlike most nuts and seeds, baru nuts contain very low levels of phytic acid, which means your body absorbs the magnesium, zinc, and iron far more efficiently. This is a huge win for people with diabetes who are more likely to suffer from silent micronutrient deficiencies due to medication use, like metformin, gut inflammation, or poor absorption caused by long-term blood sugar imbalance. Here is a research-backed fact. In one 12-week study conducted in Brazil, adults who consume baru nuts daily showed a significant reduction in C-reactive protein, a major inflammation marker, improved antioxidant defense, and better LDL cholesterol levels without gaining weight. That's rare for a high-fat food. But because baru nuts are rich in fiber and nutrients that increase satiety, they help regulate appetite while supporting metabolic repair from the inside out. Here is a recipe you can try today. Baru nut and cinnamon energy clusters. Pulse 1/2 cup dry roasted baru nuts with 1 tablespoon chia seeds, a pinch of cinnamon, and 2 tablespoons almond butter. Roll into bite-sized balls and refrigerate for an hour. They're the perfect afternoon snack for blood sugar support, energy, and digestive balance, all without any added sugar. Here is one simple precaution. Stick to 1 ounce per day, roughly a small handful. Baru nuts are rich in calories and fats, so even though they're healthy, moderation is key. Always choose dry roasted or raw varieties with no added salt, sugar, or oils. Avoid flavored or honey-glazed versions that cancel out the metabolic benefits. You may not find them at your local store yet, but trusted online sellers offer them in clean, minimally processed form. And for people managing type 2 diabetes, they're worth adding to your pantry. Before we continue, I'd love to know, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Now let's move on to the next nut. It might surprise you. Second on list, macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts often get unfairly labeled as too fatty or indulgent, especially in the world of diabetes. But that assumption couldn't be more wrong. In fact, macadamia nuts are one of the most metabolically stable, heart-friendly, and blood sugar-safe foods available for people with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes. Their glycemic index is 0, and their glycemic load is virtually non-existent, meaning they have no measurable impact on blood sugar levels. That's because they contain almost no carbohydrates. A 1-ounce serving, about 10 to 12 whole nuts, delivers 21 grams of total fat, but nearly 17 grams are monounsaturated fats, the same type that gives olive oil its legendary heart protective benefits. You also get 2 grams of fiber, 2 grams of protein, only 1.5 grams of total carbs, and meaningful amounts of nutrients like 9% daily value of thiamine, vitamin B1, 12% manganese, 7% magnesium, and small but impactful levels of copper, iron, phosphorus, and antioxidant-rich tocotrienols, an advanced form of vitamin E. The magic of macadamias lies in their fat profile. While some nuts contain a mix of good and bad fats, macadamia nuts are almost entirely made of anti-inflammatory, cholesterol-lowering monounsaturated fats. These fats support cell membrane fluidity, help insulin receptors work more effectively, and reduce insulin resistance in fat tissue. Here is a research-backed fact. In a human study, participants with type 2 diabetes who consumed macadamia-rich diets experienced up to a 25% drop in LDL cholesterol and a 15% improvement in insulin sensitivity within just 4 weeks. That's not from medication. That's from food. Their magnesium also plays a direct role in glucose metabolism, while thiamine supports nerve function and energy production at the mitochondrial level. For people with long-standing diabetes who struggle with fatigue, nerve tingling, or insulin fluctuations, macadamias are not just safe, they're therapeutic. Macadamias go far beyond blood sugar support. Their tocotrienols, unlike the more common tocopherol form of vitamin E, are especially effective at penetrating deep into nerve and brain tissue. That means these nuts don't just protect your blood vessels and heart, they also reduce oxidative stress in your central nervous system. That's vital for diabetics dealing with peripheral neuropathy, brain fog, or cognitive decline. Here is something unique. Macadamia nuts also contain a rare omega-7 fatty acid called palmitoleic acid, which may improve fat metabolism, reduce liver fat, and increase satiety. Even more importantly for people with insulin resistance, palmitoleic acid has been linked to the reduction of visceral fat, the dangerous belly fat around your organs that increases inflammation, worsens blood sugar control, and drives up A1C. Macadamias may help flatten the root causes of diabetes, not just the symptoms. Did you know? Macadamia nuts were once so rare and valuable, they were used as currency by indigenous Australians, who called them kindle. Today, they're still one of the most expensive nuts per pound globally. They also support hormone balance in ways most foods don't. Here is something most people overlook. The combination of monounsaturated fats, manganese, and magnesium in macadamia nuts helps stabilize adrenal hormones, promote thyroid function, and support testosterone and estrogen production. That's particularly helpful for diabetic men and women dealing with fatigue, hormone imbalance, or weight gain linked to insulin resistance. When your body is better nourished at the hormonal level, your metabolism responds faster to lifestyle changes, and that makes macadamias a quiet powerhouse for total body recovery. Let's clear up a common myth. Macadamia nuts are too high in fat and calories for diabetics. That's outdated thinking. It's not the amount of fat that matters, it's the type. The monounsaturated fats in macadamias are protective, not harmful. They reduce inflammation, improve insulin response, and support heart health, all without spiking blood sugar. In fact, by reducing inflammation, they may help lower your A1C indirectly by making your body more insulin sensitive. Macadamias also have rare benefits for skin and anti-aging, something many diabetics struggle with due to poor circulation and oxidative damage. Their tocotrienols and palmitoleic acid support collagen production, cell regeneration, and deep skin hydration. That's why macadamia oil is often used in healing creams for diabetic skin conditions. Eating them provides these same nutrients from the inside out, helping prevent dryness, improve wound healing, and slow visible signs of aging that often accelerate with poorly managed blood sugar. Here is a recipe you'll love. Macadamia-crusted salmon bites. Crush 1/4 cup of raw macadamia nuts, mix with a pinch of garlic powder and smoked paprika. Coat 6 small chunks of wild salmon in olive oil, then press them into the nut crust. Bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 to 15 minutes. This recipe combines protein, healthy fat, and omega-3s with the antioxidant power of macadamias. Perfect for a diabetic dinner that stabilizes glucose while supporting the heart, brain, skin, and pancreas. Here is a smart usage tip. Macadamia nuts are also great for nighttime snacking. Because they contain no sugar and digest slowly, they can help prevent overnight blood sugar dips and stabilize morning fasting glucose levels, a common struggle for many people with diabetes. Here is one important precaution. Macadamia nuts are calorie dense, so stick to 1 ounce per day, a small handful. That amount is enough to provide metabolic benefits without going overboard. Always choose raw or dry roasted, unsalted macadamias. Avoid flavored versions like honey roasted or chocolate covered, which introduce sugars and unhealthy oils. Also, don't buy them in oil-packed blends. These often use inflammatory seed oils that counteract macadamia's healing effects. Third on list, almonds. Almonds may be common, but for people with diabetes, they are anything but ordinary. These oval-shaped tree nuts, native to the Mediterranean region, have been studied more than almost any other nut. And the results are clear. Almonds are among the most blood sugar-friendly foods on the planet. With a glycemic index between 0 and 15 and a glycemic load close to 0, almonds digest slowly, release energy gradually, and never trigger post-meal glucose spikes when eaten in proper portions. A 1-ounce serving, about 23 almonds, contains only 6 grams of carbohydrates, including 3.5 grams of fiber, 6 grams of protein, and 14 grams of fat, mostly heart-protective monounsaturated fat. You also get 37% of your daily value of vitamin E, 20% magnesium, 15% riboflavin, vitamin B2, 10% calcium, and meaningful amounts of zinc, potassium, phosphorus, manganese, and copper. This incredible nutritional makeup makes almonds one of the best natural tools for regulating insulin, protecting nerves, and stabilizing glucose. Here is a research-backed fact. In one study, diabetic participants who ate just 2 ounces of almonds per day for 12 weeks experienced a 30% improvement in insulin sensitivity, a reduction in fasting blood sugar, and lower inflammatory markers. More impressively, their A1C levels dropped by as much as zero point 0.8 percentage points, showing long-term improvement in glucose control. Almonds' magnesium plays a direct role in helping insulin do its job. Their fiber slows digestion, prevents sugar spikes, and improves gut microbiome balance, something that's now known to directly impact metabolic health. Meanwhile, vitamin E, especially in the potent alpha-tocopherol form found in almonds, acts as a powerful antioxidant that shields cells from oxidative damage caused by high blood sugar. Almonds are also incredibly healing for diabetic complications. Their antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds help protect the delicate linings of blood vessels, reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease, which is the #1 cause of death in diabetics. They help prevent nerve damage by reducing oxidative stress and glycation, the sticky sugar damage that affects peripheral nerves and slows nerve regeneration. The zinc and vitamin B2 in almonds support wound healing, skin repair, and immune strength, all of which are often compromised in long-standing diabetes. Almonds also provide natural support for fertility and hormone balance. For men, they assist in testosterone production. For women, especially those with insulin resistance or PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, almonds help improve ovulation, stabilize estrogen metabolism, and reduce hormonal acne, all through the interplay of healthy fats, magnesium, and B2. Did you know? California produces over 80% of the world's almonds, and most almond trees are pollinated by bees. During bloom season, more than 2 million beehives are trucked into California in one of the largest pollination events in the world. Now let's tackle a common myth. Almonds are too high in calories to eat every day. This is misleading. While almonds are calorie-dense, they have a high satiety index, meaning they help you feel full faster and longer. Research shows that eating almonds may actually support weight loss and fat reduction, especially in the belly area, when used to replace processed snacks. Their fiber and fat combination blunts hunger hormones and reduces cravings, which makes them an ideal food for blood sugar and weight control. Here is something unique. Most of the antioxidant power of almonds comes from the brown skin that coats each nut. This skin contains polyphenols, plant compounds that work synergistically with vitamin E to fight inflammation, reduce oxidative damage, and protect against both diabetic complications and skin aging. Always choose whole almonds with the skin on to get the full spectrum of healing nutrients. Here is a recipe that's both simple and powerful. Almond and chia overnight yogurt. In a small jar, combine 3/4 cup plain Greek yogurt, 1 tablespoon chia seeds, 1/4 teaspoon cinnamon, and 10 crushed raw almonds. Let it sit overnight. By morning, you'll have a creamy, protein-rich, low-carb breakfast that supports digestion, calms inflammation, and gives you steady energy without a glucose spike. Here is one important precaution. Always choose raw or dry-roasted, unsalted almonds. Avoid heavily roasted, salted, honey-coated, or chocolate-covered almonds, which can undo the benefits. Also, stick to 1 ounce per day. That's about 23 almonds. This portion provides maximum benefit without tipping into calorie excess, especially if you're watching your weight or have slow metabolism. Almonds are also incredibly helpful for nighttime blood sugar stability. Their protein and fat content, when eaten as a bedtime snack, can help prevent nocturnal hypoglycemia and balance morning fasting glucose levels, a major issue for diabetics who struggle with the dawn phenomenon. Almonds may be the most accessible nut in the grocery store, but don't underestimate their power. Helpful tips and buying guide for diabetics. When it comes to using nuts to truly support your diabetes, it's not just about which nuts you choose, it's about how you eat and buy them. First, always stick to the golden portion, 1 ounce per day. That's roughly one small handful or about 23 almonds, 10 to 12 macadamias, or 20 to 22 baru nuts. This amount gives you the full metabolic and antioxidant benefits without tipping into calorie overload, which can slow weight loss or increase insulin resistance if you overdo it. Second, buy only raw or dry roasted nuts, preferably unsalted and free of added oils or flavorings. Avoid labels that say honey roasted, maple glazed, or BBQ season. These often contain added sugars, refined oils, or preservatives that cancel out the healing effects of nuts. For diabetic healing, purity matters. Choose nuts with just one ingredient, the nut itself. And when it comes to almond butter or nut spreads, always read the label. Look for no added sugar, no palm oil, and made with 100% nuts. The simpler, the better. Third, store your nuts smartly. Because nuts contain sensitive oils like vitamin E and omega fats, they can go rancid if left in warm, humid areas. Store them in an airtight container in the fridge or freezer to preserve their antioxidants and flavor. This especially applies to macadamias and almonds, which oxidize faster than many people realize. Fourth, don't eat nuts in isolation. For better blood sugar stability, pair your nuts with fiber or protein-rich foods. Almonds with plain Greek yogurt, macadamia nuts with leafy greens and olive oil, or baru nuts in a fiber-packed trail mix with chia seeds and unsweetened coconut flakes. These combos lower the overall glycemic load and extend satiety, helping you avoid glucose spikes and late-night cravings. Fifth, rotate your nuts weekly. Almonds, macadamias, baru nuts, and others each offer unique benefits, from magnesium and vitamin E to omega-7s and polyphenols. By rotating the types of nuts you eat, you'll cover more nutritional ground, improving nerve health, insulin response, cardiovascular protection, and even fertility outcomes for both men and women living with diabetes. And finally, watch the nut blends. Many packaged healthy trail mixes include raisins, banana chips, or sugar-coated seeds, all of which can drive up blood sugar rapidly. The safest strategy? Make your own mixes at home using raw or dry roasted nuts, unsweetened coconut flakes, raw seeds, and freeze-dried berries or a sprinkle of cinnamon. That way, every handful works with your metabolism, not against it. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone managing diabetes. And let me know in the comments, which of these 3 nuts do you enjoy most and how do you use them? Thanks for watching, and as always, stay healthy.